Good evening, Vasu, and
Thank
I would
you.
like
Thank you.
to begin by asking you, telling you, you often said that K.C. Panicker was your mentor, a guide, and I would like to know, when did you first meet him? And was this interaction with him that induced you to go take up painting as your profession in life?
I joined a School of Arts in 1960. I was doing my science before in Bangalore, and it so happened that I met one Venkatachalam, who was one of the art historians of that time. First generation art historian, and he happened to see some of my works, drawings, and some caricatures and other things, and then he said, "You must join an art school." So Chennai is very close by, Madras is very close by, and Panicker is a very good teacher, and joined that art school. From the time I joined the school, I somehow got attracted to Panicker, his personality, and a person who was not a teacher, not just as a principal, but as a human being. He was for me. He became a mentor. He became a philosopher, a guide, teacher, guru, everything put together, and he created a heaven for me in the School of Arts. That's very important. That's what made me. I mean, I'm very grateful that I joined the School of Arts and I joined Panikkar's as one of his best students, and that opened up a lot of things for me. Joining the School of Arts and then meeting a lot of other artists and seniors and class teachers, and one advantage in that school, it was called School of Arts and Crafts. Advantage was that there was no restriction, and Panikkar himself would tell anybody, if you want to see my best students, they will be in the canteen, not in the classroom. That means he had given such a lot of liberty to all of us, and so that's how it all went up. And well, I will talk to you later about other things.
Okay. So during your long career, you have met and interacted with very many interesting artists. In what way has their work, whether it is painters, sculptor, writers, music, film directors, how has their interaction with them have influence on your work? And what is your experience has been meeting K.K. Hebbar?
Let me first tell you that when I was in the third or fourth year in the college, School of Arts, I came across paintings of Francis Newton Sousa, and that attracted me so much, inspired me so much. Dynamic drawing, dynamic paintings, and it's all only in the books and films. Then I heard that he was coming to Bombay to have an exhibition, and he was in London at that time. And so I went to Bombay to meet him. I met him there, and then I told him, I'm a great admirer of your works. And so he was very good and very encouraging. And then I went through this phase for nearly 2 years, and of inspiration, influence, everything. Then I had to digest that and then move forward. Then when I met him 2 years later in Bombay again, when I had gone for a national scholarship interview, then I showed him some of my works. He said, I don't see my influence on your work now. No. I said, no, sir, I've moved out. I've moved beyond you now. I don't really need that. I do respect your works. Then I remember, one Dr. A.S. Raman, who was the editor of Illustrated Weekly of India at that time, he told me later on when he came to Chennai to settle down there, he said, I remember, Sousa mentioning about you, saying that, you must meet these young artists and things like that. That was a very good thing for a senior artist like Sousa to mention. Now, coming to the other spheres, I have got, I'm inspired by theater, music, cinema, and literature. And thanks to I met Mr. Girish Karnad, in 1963, and I was a student in the third year at the time. And it is he who opened up many things for me. In the sense, the complete Kannada literature, modern literature, he opened up, and theatre and poetry and everything. And then, so that really attracted me so much to Kannada literature, understanding what it is. And then he introduced me to best of the publishers in Kannada, like Manohar Grantamala, Dharwad, and there I met a lot of other group of writers like Kambar and all these people. Then my my interest started towards literature also, poetry, literature. Then he introduced me to D.R. Bindre, or very, very well-known Kannada poets. When I went to Dharwad with him, and I had a show in Dharwad also because of him. And then Bindre's poem inspired me a lot. So that really created a lot of what is called Kalpa Vriksha Vrindavanangalali Ego Hokku Bande, like that, a poem, which inspired me, and then I did a series of paintings and drawings on that. Anyway, coming to the music part of it, I have a great admirer of both Hindustani and Carnatic music, and Chennai is one place where you can listen to a lot of Carnatic music, and the best musicians would come and sing there. And I was inspired by M.D. Ramanathan, who is no more. He's one of the fantastic singers, vocalist. And then one advantage we had was, 1960, 66, we started Cholamandalam Artist Village. And there we had an open air theatre. And we used to get these musicians, dancers, filmmakers, poets to come there, recite their things and play, whatever it is. And it was something which was, it was very, very sort of a congenial atmosphere to react to these things and to make these things one's own. And so my art, yes, it is inspired by many other artists and art, but it is more from literature. And Hebbar was a person whom I used to meet whenever I went to Bombay. I mean, a great humanist, fantastic painter, fantastic artist, great humanist. And every time he would show me his latest work and talk about it. That was a very interesting thing for such a senior painter like Hebbar to react to young artists like me at the time was a very, very fascinating thing. And then I realized that there is some sort of a common thing between Panicker and Hebbar, not as artists, but otherwise as human beings. And I found in Panicker, he was always encouraging the youngsters, always working with them, and really making teams and then teamworks and helpful. And he organized so many things, including the Madras art movement at that time, and also creating Cholamandalam Artist Village. And Hebbar, I found, did not do those things, but then he did something wonderful as a president of the Karnataka Lalit Kala Academy in 1977. He organized scholarship scheme for young artists, and because many of our young artists from Karnataka, they had not gone out. They studied in the local schools here, not very big institutions, but local schools here. But then they were confined to Bangalore or Karnataka itself. So he wanted them to get exposed. So he formed a team of us, like myself, G.H. Shanai, who is no more, and people like that, and then created scholarship scheme. And we sent nearly 35 to 40 artists out of Bangalore to study in MS University, Baroda, or Shantiniketan, or Delhi, or wherever they wanted to study. And then, if they couldn't get admission, he would go and talk to the directors of those institutions and to see that they're admitted. And then from there, some of these people, they went to London, Royal College of Art, London, and many other places, and they brought back the influences of all those things. And so today, Karnataka, particularly Bangalore, is full of this fantastic group of artists who really had at one point of time the scholarship scheme which Hebbar created. And that is something which is a wonderful, in fact, I must say that Bangalore has taken over Chennai. Though Chennai College of Art is one of the oldest institutions where I studied, but I find that the type of art which goes on in Bangalore and in Karnataka is something which is really fantastic. And so that I think I should thank person like who would have. No, I don't think anybody else would have done that at that time. He was only for 3 years as a chairperson, and then he did all these things. And so I came across these two personalities, and so I felt that yes, we have to do something for the younger generation, and that they molded me into that. I think I feel that way. So I started working towards making the life more comfortable for younger artists by creating scholarships and various things.
I do see some similarity. I see you very strong in your drawing, and I'm sure my Hebbar has been really appreciating your line drawings because he himself was very good in line drawing. So of course his drawings have always been called as a singing line, and he's always spoken very highly about you. And I remember you were the one person who was responsible for selecting the works for the Venkata Art Gallery. I was not in the country then, but I was told you came over when he was not well, and you were the one who decided and gave a lot of help at that time in putting up this museum at the Venkatappa Gallery, which I think many people may not be knowing about it. And
true. The culture department at that time in Karnataka was interested also in having Hebbar's works, but then they were wondering how to get those works, how to pay for those works. Then I said, it's not necessary for anybody to pay because Hebbar wouldn't ask any money, provided we create a proper gallery, museum. And they said, are you sure that you can talk to him? So I talked to Hebbar. I said, sir, Karnataka government wants to have a museum, not gallery for you, but can you give your works, loan your works or give your works for that? I said, of course, yes, certainly I'll give. There is no necessity for anybody to buy anything. And that convinced the culture department. And then Hebbar said, provided you come to Bombay and select the works, what you want. And then I took Marisha Machar, who was another young artist, and he is no more, unfortunately. So both of us went to Bombay, spent a couple of days there at Hebbar's house, in his studio, and selected the works, which I thought he wouldn't give part with, but still he parted with all those things. And then brought all those works to Bangalore and created this museum. It's a Venkata Art Gallery, second floor, it's Hebbar's gallery. And so one thing is that we have a great artist like Venkatappa who was inspired by the Shantiniketan school, and he went to Shantiniketan, and of course his works are not that contemporary. Whereas you have a Hebbar's collection which is a completely contemporary, and that is a good mixture of these two things in the same building. And then in the middle of these two floors, there is a collection of exhibition display of various other artists' works, and so it's become a very good thing for people to go there and visit this museum of Hebbar's works.
And we have another gallery in Manipal, where the trust has donated 25 portraits done by him at various times. And it is we have a beautiful gallery there. So if people ever go to Mangalore or to Udupi, Manipal University, they will get a chance to see the museum. And 10 more paintings have been added to the collection. Okay. So now they are planning to open a center, cultural center,